Good morning and welcome to Sportuccino. We are live. It is Tuesday, the 11th of October. Thank you so much for watching this show, whether you're watching it live or later on YouTube or listening to it as a podcast on iTunes. Thank you so much for being involved in the show. If you've got any comments, put them in the section below on Facebook or on our Twitter handle, #Sportuccino. We've got lots of sports to get through, so let's begin the day with our morning headlines. Wayne Rooney is dropped for England's World Cup qualifier in Slovenia. Jordan Henderson will captain the side. Paul Pogba's goal gave France a 1-0 win in the Netherlands. Christian Benteke scored the quickest goal in World Cup qualifying history after just 7 seconds in Belgium's 6-0 win over Gibraltar. Conor McGregor is given 50 hours community service and a £120,000 fine for his confrontation with Nate Diaz in August. Well, today's show is brought to you by mattparo.com. Matt Paro is an award-winning magician. Would you like to see amazing magic that you'll never forget in your whole entire life? Well, award-winning magician Matt Paro can make that dream come true. If you would like to book him for one of your upcoming events, go to mattparo.com. He's also on social media on Twitter @MattParo. Thanks so much to Matt for sponsoring today's show. If you would like to sponsor the show, all you've got to do is go to sportsdesk@sportuccino.com. Well, those headlines were pretty interesting. Wayne Rooney finally dropped for England. It had already happened for Manchester United. Now Gareth Southgate has taken what many people are calling a brave decision to drop Wayne Rooney. What are your thoughts on that? He's being replaced by Eric Dyer in midfield. Is that a good move? Southgate says it's for tactical reasons rather than form. Obviously, Wayne Rooney also got booed at the end of their game against Malta when they won 2-0. I've made my feelings pretty clear on what I think about Wayne Rooney playing in midfield. I don't really think he's good enough. I think he's been a fantastic ambassador for England. I think he covers every blade of grass because he can and does and works really hard, but that's not necessarily what England need at times. Sometimes I felt he's a bit of a headless chicken and he's going into areas where he's actually not needed. And that is because he's a leader and because he's trying to do his best for England, but sometimes I don't think that is the right thing. What do you think about Wayne Rooney being dropped? Also, what do you think about Jordan Henderson being the England captain for the game in Slovenia tonight? Is he the right choice? Obviously, during the Euros, Gary Cahill was the vice captain, but it's Jordan Henderson tonight. What do you think of that? We're discussing Wayne Rooney on our Twitter page. It is today's poll. Very obvious question today on the Twitter page. It is it the right decision to drop Wayne Rooney from the England team? #Sportuccino. It's simple, yes or no. One more time. Is it the right decision to drop Wayne Rooney from the England team? It's a decision that Gareth Southgate has made. So we'll find out tonight if it's the right one. You know, you've still got Wayne Rooney on the bench, so he could still come off and get a goal. We'll have to wait and see. That is tonight in the World Cup qualifiers. Yesterday's poll was, I wanted to know who you think will be the 2016 Formula One World Champion. That was after Nico Rosberg won at the Japanese Grand Prix, and we had all of these pre-race antics with Lewis Hamilton. But 60% of you believe that Nico Rosberg will be the world champion, while only 40% of you feel it's going to be Lewis Hamilton. That's still pretty close. That's not too far from 50-50. So a few of you still believe that Lewis Hamilton could retain his world championship crown. We may have finished that poll, but if you've got any views, please put them in the Facebook page below. And anything related to sport, put it on the #Sportuccino. Now, we'll get back to the World Cup qualifiers a bit later. I want to talk about Belgium. I want to talk about Portugal as well. But for many of you, you know that my passion is professional wrestling. I love my professional wrestling. And on Sunday, the WWE had their latest pay-per-view, a SmackDown-only offering on the WWE network called WWE No Mercy. Last Thursday, we had Paul Benson on the show from Hooked on Wrestling, giving his predictions and views. And today I'm delighted to welcome to Sportuccino DJ Ace, the BBC One Radio 1 Extra DJ and host of the Kickout Podcast, to give his thoughts on the event. Ace, welcome to Sportuccino. Did you enjoy No Mercy?
I did enjoy No Mercy, actually. I was saying earlier, I thought the scheduling of the card was a bit weird, but I think the matches were all very good, actually.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that. Because of the presidential election debate between Trump and Clinton, they decided to bring the main event between AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, and John Cena for the WWE World title to the start of the show. My feeling was, when I was first watching it, that was actually really good, because you, like me, have been to lots of WWE events, and the crowd can get pretty tired. So very often you may have lost your voice before you even get to the main event. So I found that the crowd was really, really hot for the start of the show, but then the show kind of meandered throughout. How did you feel about the main event being on first?
I was excited about the main event being first because I'm a huge Dolph Ziggler fan. So I assumed that it being his almost career-ending match, that they would end with it. So I was like, okay, that's cool for Ziggler to either he walks out the company at the end of the show, or he had this really great victorious win for the end of the show. But they didn't even do that. So I thought it was a great start. To start with the main event was awesome. But I think how they ended it was really weak.
Yeah, we discussed this before we went on the air. I felt that Ziggler Miz should have been the main event. Orton versus Bray Wyatt was the main event. Paul Benson last Thursday said he felt that it really was the time for Bray Wyatt to go over and to get a big win against Orton. He certainly got that. Paul Benson also predicted the return of Luke Harper. That happened. Okay, yes, Sportuccino fans, we are giving spoilers. What did you think of what was the main event in the end between Orton and Wyatt? Did you enjoy it?
No, and I'll be honest, I haven't really enjoyed the run-up either. I think they've really done a bad job with Bray Wyatt. I think when he came, he was almost Undertaker-like. Like, his character is so fearful, very strange, and it's almost cultish to a point where people are scared of him. He plays the mind games really well, and he's a great wrestler as well. But he was just taking so many losses that now it doesn't really matter anymore. But I don't think he's seen as that much of a threat as he was when he first came to the company. I'll be honest, I haven't really been enjoying the run up. Like, I think him being like the kind of psycho guy that he is, I think it was really strange that they were able to get Randy Orton in the brain of Bray Wyatt, because he's the ultimate mind player. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I haven't really enjoyed the run up, and I thought the match was decent. I did like the outcome. I like Luke Harper a lot, but I just think they haven't really been doing Bray Wyatt any favors with all the losses that he's taken over the last couple of years.
I like Luke Harper as well, and I was kind of glad that Wyatt won. I think with Wyatt, because he did come in with this whole kind of Undertaker type feel, what was great when he first started is that he didn't really wrestle very much. He only really wrestled on the pay-per-views. Throughout that time, you either had Rowan or Luke Harper doing the dirty work. So when you saw him at a pay-per-view, you were like, oh, I get to see Bray Wyatt. Oh, this is interesting. Or when he does that kind of weird spider thing where he rolls his head back and you're like, oh, this is creepy. But then when you start to see him more, and the biggest problem, in my opinion, is they get him doing too many promos. You know, every so often he'll knock one out the park, but when they're on every week, I'm like, I don't want to hear him just drivel on and talk riddles. It doesn't make any sense to me, and I just fast forward it most of the time. What do you think of his promos?
I think he's a victim of being a great talker, and I think they do that. When they find someone that's good on the mic, they'll give them way too much time every week. We've seen it with the New Day. Sometimes, like recently, their promos have been hit or miss. Cass and Enzo, they're good talkers. So, and when you give them a mic every week, sometimes their stuff comes out a little bit rubbish as well. So I think you're right. They just got to do it, especially with him. It's got to feel special. And when you give him a mic every week and give him way too much time, I think it was like on the run up to this match, it wasn't just like one segment. It was every other match. In between a match was a Bray Wyatt segment, and he was like, okay, this is way too much. So I agree with what you said, actually.
So we didn't have Ziggler versus The Miz as the main event. JBL on commentary called it the match of the night. My match of the night was actually the opener, what I call the main event for the world title between AJ Styles, Cena, and Ambrose. What was your match of the night?
I gotta give it to Ziggler and Miz as well. I'm a huge Dolph Ziggler fan. I'm actually I stand for Dolph Ziggler. Do you know what though? I would have liked to have seen him lose actually, if I'm honest. Even though I am a fan, and just give him a really like fun way to come back, whether it be at a Rumble or as a different character. I think he's got like so much potential, and I think he can be that top guy. But I thought it was a great match. He like got sprayed in the face. The Spirit Squad came out. I thought it was a really good match. I thought the main event was good, but I thought their match was good, and I think they kind of tugged at the heartstrings of people, and Dolph got the whole crowd with him. I hope that carries on with his IC reign now. But yeah, I think that was the match of the night for me.
Yeah, the thing with Dolph Ziggler though is you've almost had too many of these false dawns where he has a great match or they put him in a good program, and then all of a sudden you think he's going to go to the next level, but then it doesn't happen. For example, when they had that Survivor Series match where he pretty much defeated everyone, and you thought, oh, okay, they're really going to push him now, and then that doesn't happen. It becomes frustrated. Were you pleased that AJ Styles retained the title?
100%. I think he has to hold on to the belt for a while. I'm hoping that they turn him face now. I think he's better as a face. I think as a heel, he doesn't really work as a heel if he hasn't got the club with him. And seeing as he's on the SmackDown on his own, I think they gotta make him a babyface now. And I really want to see Cena Ambrose just go at it for the next few months, because it feels personal as well. So I'm glad that AJ retained. Although I thought that the end of the match was a bit messy. Like if he tapped out, he kind of should have been eliminated from the match.
Yeah, I felt that was the same as well. You know, really, for me, if they were going to do that, you'd expect maybe Daniel Bryan or Shane McMahon to come out and say, oh, AJ Styles, you've actually been eliminated. You two are going to go for it. But if the plan was always for AJ Styles to keep the belt, it was just a little bit messy. I know they wanted to still make Cena and Ambrose look strong, but it was a little bit confusing, I think.
Yeah, it was a little bit confusing, but I'm glad AJ's retained. I think he is the right guy. He's the top guy on that show, and I think we're going to see a lot of excitement. I just don't know who does he feud with now, which I think is going to be interesting to see where they go with it.
Now, what about the rest of the card? Did anything else take your interest? Personally, I enjoyed those 3 matches, but the rest didn't really float my boat. Rhino and Heath Slater. Rhino looked good against the Usos, but if Usos are going to have this new attitude, this new heel turn, that I think they should be the ones going over. I know ultimately they want them to have a feud with American Alpha, and that's where they're going with that. But I was a bit disappointed with that. Alexa Bliss versus Naomi didn't interest me at all. It's a shame Becky Lynch wasn't able to compete. Nikki Bella, Carmella wasn't too bad, and I think Nikki Bella was the right result. Were there any of those matches which you enjoyed, or were there any which you really didn't like? And don't get me started on Baron Corbin.
I think I definitely agree with you. I think the Usos need the belt. I think with this new attitude, I think it was so perfect. The heel turn is amazing, and I think they look good. The attitude is great. I think the feud with American Alpha will mean more if they have the belts. I'd love to see American Alpha chase the Usos, the heel Usos with the belts. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure they'll put the belts on the Usos at some point, so the American Alpha can chase the Usos for that championship. I think later on down the line, whether it's at the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, that's going to be an insane match. I like Naomi. She's just not over. I don't know, man. She doesn't really. I don't know what she has to do, but I think she's a great athlete, and I think this match was a little bit messy, but she's not. I don't know how bad this Becky injury is, and I don't know if they're looking at maybe Naomi to fill in or whatever. But I don't know if she's as over enough as she needs to be. Baron Corbin, I really feel sorry for, if I'm honest. I just feel like they don't really know what to do with him.
I'm not a massive fan of Naomi either, but does she have one of the best entrances in WWE right now, or do you not like that gimmick?
It's different. I think it's a little bit too much dancing. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'm not an EDM fan or a techno fan, so I can't really appreciate it. But it looks good, I suppose. The glow works for her, but big up to her.
And what do you think of Baron Corbin?
I think, you know what? I think he could be a big star. I just think he's in that really weird no man's land where they don't really know how to where to channel it or how to get him over or even make, because I feel like he's at that point now where like the crowd don't really even hate him as much as they need to. You know what I mean? And I think there's a few wrestlers at the moment that are in that really weird place where they're not really sure what to do. I think him and Apollo Crews, like there's new guys that have come to SmackDown and they're kind of just in a weird place. I'm not really sure. Like, where'd you go with Baron Corbin? I'm not sure. So I think he's good. I think he's massive. He's a big guy, very dominant. He's a competent wrestler. I just don't know where you go with him. What do you do with him? How do you push it forward?
And I think that's the WWE's problem with him right now. I don't think they know quite what to do with him either.
That's not right.
Well, Ace, it's been really great to get your thoughts on Sportuccino this morning. You're the host of the Kickout Podcast. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that and any other things that you're up to right now?
Yeah, so I got the Kickout Podcast, which drops every Thursday with my host Skillet. Skillet is a wrestling geek nerd. You ask him about any mania over the last 30 years, he'll tell you which city and how many people were in attendance. He's insane like that. So we just chop it up about wrestling each and every week. We run down what happened during Raw and SmackDown and all the pay-per-views and anything that's going on outside of the ring as well. So we do that once a week. I've got a radio show on BBC Radio 1 Extra. I'm on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday mornings from 6 a.m. And I'm just all over social media as well, so you can check me out at DJ Ace.
We will do. DJ Ace, thank you so much for your time today. It was brilliant to get your thoughts, and thank you for being on Sportuccino.
Thank you.
DJ Ace there, host of the Kickout Podcast. Listen to it on iTunes. It's a great listen, and I'm sure you really enjoyed what he had to say about WWE No Mercy. We'll be previewing and reviewing every WWE pay-per-view on Sportuccino. But we're not just about wrestling. We're about all of the biggest stories in sport. And one of the things we're talking about today is whether it's the right decision for Wayne Rooney to be dropped from the England team. And I've got a message here on Twitter. That's at Sportuccino on Twitter. Nick Morales says it should have been done ages ago. It shows the fear that coaches had of losing the players if they lost Rooney, and perhaps he's gone now. What do you think about that? Put a message on the Facebook page. Put a message on Twitter at Sportuccino. Sportuccino. Well, Sportuccino now. We're live. It's 8 a.m. If you like the show, come on, give us a smiley face. We want to see it go across the screen. Maybe give us a like. The thumbs up. Hello. That's what we'd like to see live on Sportuccino. We'd love to hear from you. Well, the show might be on Facebook. It's also replayed on YouTube. But it's actually a really enjoyable listen on iTunes. We have it on iTunes and we have it on Stitcher. It's available as an audio podcast. It comes out a few hours after the show is live every single day. All you've got to do on iTunes is search Sportuccino. And to try and help boost the exposure and to let more people know about Sportuccino, we really need to get it on the iTunes section called New and Noteworthy. And to do that, we need ratings and reviews. And I would really love it if you would help support the show by giving us a rating and review. It's really easy to do if you know how. That's the same with anything. Everything's easy to know how to do if you know how. So what I've done is I've made you a nice simple video, which I'd love you to watch, follow, and please give us a rating and review on iTunes. morning and welcome to Sportuccino. So there it is, really easy how to rate and review our show on iTunes. Well, today's show is brought to you by Matt Paro from mattparo.com. Matt Paro is an award-winning magician, and you can learn more about him or book him for your event at mattparo.com. He's really great. He's also on social media at Matt Paro. Thanks so much to him for sponsoring today's show. If you'd like to sponsor the show, all you've got to do is send us an email, sportsdesk@sportuccino.com. Well, a reminder of our poll today is we want to know from you, do you think it's the right decision for Wayne Rooney to be dropped from the England team? Yes or no? Is it the right decision to drop Wayne Rooney from the England team? He won't be playing against Slovenia tonight in the World Cup qualifier. Gareth Southgate has dropped him. He's brought in Eric Dyer. He was booed at home at Wembley against Malta. What do you think of that? Some other international football news. France won 1-0 at the Netherlands. Paul Pogba with the winner. Now, I read some reports on this about Paul Pogba's goal, saying it was an absolute screamer, it was a wonder goal. So I watched the goal, and I've got to say, Everton's Martin Stecklenburg was completely at fault for that goal. Pogba hit it hard, he hit it fast, but it went towards the keeper. Maybe the keeper didn't see it. I know Strootman was kind of in the way, Kevin Strootman, the midfielder. Maybe he saw it late, but for me it was weak palms. It should have been stronger palms from Stecklenburg and kept out, and perhaps Netherlands' unbeaten run in qualifiers would have stayed the same. Big win for France though in that group for the World Cup qualifiers. Some big results elsewhere. Portugal, they won 6-0 at the Faroe Islands. Cristiano Ronaldo on the score sheet. Andre with a hat-trick. And then also we had the quickest ever goal in World Cup qualifying when Christian Benteke scored after, well, you're hearing different reports here. Some people are saying 7 seconds, that's what we're saying in our headlines. Then you see 8.1 seconds, then you see 6 seconds. Either way, it's the quickest ever goal by Christian Benteke for Belgium against Gibraltar. The game being played in Faro in Portugal, which is away from Gibraltar because Gibraltar don't have the right stadium for those type of matches. And it was really empty, which is kind of a weird atmosphere. You almost felt like, oh, what have Gibraltar done wrong? Have their fans been fighting because there's no fans there? It was a little bit strange, but quickest ever goal from Christian Benteke in Belgium's 6-0 win over Gibraltar. Benteke eventually got a hat-trick. Some pretty good players playing in that match. And as we mentioned, more World Cup qualifiers tonight, including England versus Slovenia. I'd love to get your thoughts on the England match and also all of the other international qualifiers. Yesterday we had Gary Al Smith on the show giving his view on all of the international matches. It was great to hear from him. Okay, now what we like to do on this show is we like to give you information about health, fitness and anything to do with nutrition. So each day I like to try a new product related to that. So we've tried protein shakes, we've tried protein bars, we've talked about apps, we've got more things to come, such as magazines. And today I'm trying a new a new product. I got straight from the gym. I bought it myself, £2.50 it cost, and it is this. It is the Buff Bake Protein Cookie Frosted Oatmeal Raisin. Now, I've never tried it. Not sure about having a cookie as a protein snack, but apparently this has got 16 grams of protein. Now, if you look at what we've tried on previous days, like the protein bars that we've had, they can be up to 22 grams. So this is a lot of protein for a cookie. And the thing about Buff Bake, buffbake.com, is they say their ingredients are clean and their motto is simple. No, the motto actually is simple. It's not like a simple motto. The motto is simple. That's what it says on the back here. So we've got 16 grams of protein. I've never tried this. Frosted oatmeal raisin made with natural love. We all love a little bit of love. So let's open this up. Oh, of course, once again, I can't open it. Here we go. Open it right out. Let's get it out. So frosted oatmeal raisins. Oh, I've got to say, it's pretty moist. I thought it'd be like one of those hard, this is like an American cookie. You know what I mean, people. All right, let's try this out. I won't take a big bite because otherwise it's just watching me eat for 20 minutes. I'll just take a little nibble. Let's try and find a bit of the raisin though. It's really nice. I really like it. It does smell a bit funny though. I don't know, I feel like I'm in a pharmacy or something. I feel it's that type of food, but it does taste good. I don't know if it's, yeah, I could keep eating that. I'm going to have some water, hold on. So, yeah, they try and use their products to be as organic as possible to avoid the pesticides. So that's why they mention that they want to be as natural as possible. It's not too expensive. It's £2.50, but some people are like, £2.50 for a cookie or £2.50 for a biscuit. You'd be like, oh, that is a lot of money. But I quite enjoy this. And you'd be spending £2 to £2.50 for a protein bar. So if you don't really enjoy protein bars, but you like biscuits and you like cookies, then this could be the one for you. I'm going to enjoy this with a nice cup of tea after the show because I don't want to eat a whole cookie on this morning's Sportuccino. However much fun we are having on today's show. Now remember, if you want your product or service or anything to do with health and fitness reviewed on the show, all you got to do is send us an email. Oh, I'm still eating. sportsdesk@sportuccino.com. I almost forgot our own email address if you want to get involved. The same if you'd like to be a sponsor on the show. So we've talked a little bit about football. We also mentioned in the headlines about Conor McGregor. Of course, he had that big brawl with Nate Diaz before their UFC fight where he's throwing chairs and everything like that. Nevada Athletic Commission have now given him 50 days community service. Oh, see, my voice is still going here. 50 days community service and a fine of £120,000, $150,000. What are your thoughts on this? Is that a bit excessive, or because he earns so much money, is that fine? We'd love to hear from you on the Facebook page. Please send us a comment or on Twitter at Sportuccino. Well, we started the show with the headlines, so let's end them with the headlines. Wayne Rooney is dropped for England's World Cup qualifier in Slovenia. Jordan Henderson will captain the side. Paul Pogba's goal gave France a 1-0 win in the Netherlands. Christian Benteke scored the quickest goal in World Cup qualifying history after just 7 seconds in Belgium's 6-0 win over Gibraltar. Conor McGregor is given 50 hours community service and a £120,000 fine for his confrontation with Nate Diaz in August. Well, we've run out of time on today's Sportuccino. Thank you so much for liking the show. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching it. Please share it. Please tell your friends about it. Please tweet us on @Sportuccino. We've run out of time today. Let us know your thoughts on all of the big stories in world sport. If there's anything you'd like us to discuss on the show, also let us know. But thank you so much for your time this morning. We'll be back tomorrow morning from 8 o'clock. We'll be discussing England's game against Slovenia, talking about how well they did with the Squawker football expert Greg Stobart. Don't miss that. We'll be back tomorrow morning on Facebook Live, sportuccino.com sportuccino.com and facebook.com/Sportuccino. Thanks so much for your time this morning. Take care. Goodbye.